Hey guys, update here. We're at the point now where I've got the engine in. I've got all the intake side done. I didn't video all of this because it's just a lot of trial and error for me. If I have to do it again, I know where everything's got to go, where every connection goes. The routing of all the lines and the hoses and brackets and particular bolts and straps and clamps and everything, it's all melded into the head now, so I got a pretty good idea if I have to do this ever again. Hopefully not. For the sake of the engine start, because of course I want to see if this thing will actually run, I've got it mocked up a little bit. I've got the intercooler in place, rad. Just going to finish off putting the charge tubes and intake in place. Going to get the oil air separator in place. Finish off some of the vacuum lines, but we're getting pretty close. I thought maybe tonight I'd be able to get us started, but I think it's getting late and starting to get cold as well. It's not very nice out. Been a beautiful day, but it's just getting cold. So one of the things I spent some time on today, because the differential is sitting on the ground down there, I don't want to reassemble all of this until I know the engine's running fine, in case I have to pull it back out again. And the solo exhaust does not fit unless we get rid of the differential, which seems to be in the way. So I went and bought a $10 muffler from a local muffler shop and jimmied a setup here. So that'll keep the noise down when I do fire her up, and then once it's running, I know everything's fine. I can pull that off and complete the install. Get the solo exhaust back in place. So, little thing I did here on the front plate, got it polished up, and then got some laser graphics put on there, as you can see. What else? So I think what I'm going to do right now, I've got the battery reconnected and no sparks anywhere, so it looks like we're all good there. I'm going to put the camera on the tripod and then turn her over a little bit. Need to get some oil pressure, get the oil pump primed, and get some oil flowing throughout the engine prior to me starting it up. So for that purpose, of course, I've got the plugs out, which will make it, allow it to crank over a lot easier. Coil packs not even installed. And I got the fuses and relays disconnected over there, so the fuel pump's not running as well. I think I showed you this before, but I've got a oil pressure gauge, just a temporary oil pressure gauge set up here. It's coming out of the oil feed line for the turbo, for the EFR. So once I can see some type of indication that I've got oil pressure, this is probably a waste of time, because once oil starts spitting out of this oil line here, I know I've got good oil pressure. But this thing's like $10. It's just a cheap gauge. Thought it'd be kind of interesting to see what happens during cranking this thing. So we're going to put the camera back on the tripod and turn it over, and hopefully she turns over without any sort of bad noises or anything. Once that's done, I can finish the rest of the plumbing, get the charge tubes in place, spark plugs, coil packs, get all the fuses, all that kind of jazz back in there. Got to fill the coolant, the cooling system, get that bled, and then we're going to start her up. So probably tomorrow, I'm thinking I'm going to either have a running engine or I'm going to shoot myself. I'm not too sure what my reaction is going to be if this engine either doesn't start or if it starts with a bunch of clunking and carrying on and whatnot. I can't imagine how I'm going to feel if that occurs, but I'm staying positive. Everyone's got their fingers crossed for me. General karma in the shop here is excellent. I've taken my time with everything, double checked, everything is torqued to spec. There's not a bolt on this engine that I just willy-nilly tightened. So like I say, hopefully everything's going to be fine. So let's put the camera on here and we'll get this thing turned over, see what happens. Actually, I'm just going to kill this and I'll start a new video in a second.